Rejoice! Rejoice! The legend has returned. The IS-4, the ever so legendary heavy tank at Tier 10, has returned to its former glory. If you don't know what I'm talking about, of course, I'm talking about all the Tier 10 rebalance changes that are going to come into play in December. And one of the highlights of those changes was this tank right here, the IS-4, which for a very long time has been the subject of ridicule and despair. It has been a tank that, unfortunately, has been left in the dust by Wargaming. It's been nerfed, it's been slightly buffed, it's been nerfed again, it's been rebalanced. The tank deserves some love. It does deserve some love. And it's refreshing to finally see that this tank is going to be receiving the love that it deserves with the upcoming updates in December. What does that mean for you guys? Well, it's very simple, really. It's going to have more armor. So those weak spots that you see on the sides are not going to be weak spots anymore. The tank is going to perform exceptionally well. Finally. It's been a long time since people have been playing this tank as often as they used to. And it's finally returning to its former glory, and I'm all the more thankful for it. And the problem isn't that the tank is bad. It's just that it's mediocre. It's not as good as it used to be, which is a shame, because I used to love playing the IS-4. It used to be a fantastic tank to play. I mean, it was between this, the IS-7, and the IS-4, if you really wanted to play a tank that had, you know, piss-off armor, basically, is what we called it, and a great amount of DPM. And especially with this tank right here, you can actually option, or you can equip the Tier 7 122mm gun on this thing. On a Tier 10 tank. It was pretty funny to see. And you had to basically research this Top Gun, which was just ridiculous. I don't understand why Wargaming did that, but anyway, it was a fun tank to play. It was agile enough. It had a bonkers amount of armor. It was difficult to take out, and a lot of pro players love playing this thing in tournaments and in comps, and for good reason, because it was such a good tank. Good luck ever seeing this tank being played in another tournament or a comp in the last how many years, because it's not as good as it used to be. There's just tanks that are better. There are tanks that are better than this tank, and it's fair enough. It's fair enough. So again, I'm glad Wargaming have decided to finally give the IS-4 the love that it deserves. I think it's great. The IS-7 as well is being rebalanced. I don't know if it's for the better or not, to be honest with you. I mean, again, this tank is also sort of up and down. It's always been a strong tank. It's just in recent years, it hasn't been the go-to tank for a lot of people anymore. That was given to the 60TP. It was given to the Type 71. It was given to the Rinoceronte, the E100, of course, with the 128mm buff on DPM. Like, it's had a lot, right? There's a lot of better heavy tanks out there than the IS-7 and the IS-4. And I think, for that reason, I think this rebalance for some of these heavy tanks at T10 is actually a good thing. Some people might disagree. I personally think it's a good idea for the IS-4 to be returned to its former glory. Because I genuinely want people to play this tank more often. I want them to enjoy the tank as much as we all did, back in its heyday. I want people to know just how strong this tank used to be in this current meta. Only in this meta. So obviously I made a video talking about the new meta in Blitz being some of these medium tanks that are coming into play. But I genuinely think that this tank right here, the IS-4, is going to be part of that new meta. I think that more people are going to be playing this tank. And if Wargaming decide to add, something like reactive armor to this tank, then I think people are going to be playing it. I genuinely think people will be playing this tank in not only just pubs, but in tournaments and in comp. I wouldn't mind this tank having reactive armor, to be honest with you. I know some people are opposed to having reactive armor on tier 10 tanks, which is fine. But I wouldn't mind seeing this tank with reactive armor. I think this is the one tank that kind of does deserve it. It's been left in the dust, and I think for a few updates, it deserves to have reactive armor. That's just my take on it. You don't have to, but it's my take. I know it's got the improved engine power boost, which is fine, but I mean, it's not really going to give you any extra edge. So I reckon if you equip this tank with either tungsten or reactive armor, I think it's going to really do well, even with the buffs that are coming its way. And I think it will be the new meta. I kind of, just for the lulz, I kind of want to have this the new heavy tank, or rather the new heavy tank meta, being the IS-4 with either tungsten or reactive armor. It'd be hilarious to see this tank make a return into comp. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me, by the way. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. By the way, 999 gold right there. Perfect. I'd like to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think of the IS-4 returning to its former glory. And whether it should actually be the next heavy tank meta by adding tungsten or reactive armor. I'd love to see that. It'd be hilarious. Or the other guy, but the 116 had reactive armor, and the AMX M4 Emily had reactive armor. Yeah, but those tanks, the difference with those tanks is they're collector tanks. You can't get them. Not everyone can get them. The IS-4, everyone can get because it's free. You just got to grind it. That's it. So I got no issue with it having reactive armor or tungsten. I just want to see it. It'll be hilarious to see. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think. I think it's a pretty decent idea, to be honest with you. But again, who am I to judge? Ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. Look after your friends and family. Peace in the Middle East and everywhere else in this beautiful world. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.